we live in this place of a complete double standard, and I'm going to talk about the media here for a second, because some of the other reactions I've seen online that I thought were just the worst, most dishonest takes are coming from media figures. Rachel Maddow tweeted, let's tell me again about Law and Order, what she said. I'm like, no, Rachel, why don't you tell us about Law and Order? You haven't been telling us about Law and Order for 4 years. This is your fault. You have a part in this. You have a part in this. The media has a huge part
Yeah,
in
although
this.
I don't.
You
Do
can't
you think that
condone.
they're only
No,
doing
but
this
you
because
can't.
the media condoned it for the BLM protests? Because okay.
No, I don't. But I think you're deluding yourself, and you're moronic. Even if you're not a moron, you are being moronic if you're pretending like that things haven't escalated to this point, in part because the media has carried water for violence and for rioting and for people taking to the streets and taking things in their own hands and disregarding law and order. She's been on board. Acosta, they've all been on board with what we've seen the past 4 years. They've also, by the way, been on board with delegitimizing the election results of
Right.
Trump. And you think that you can do that? You think you can delegitimize the election of a president, and that you can spend 4 years condoning rioting and violence, and then you're not going to see it you're not going to see it escalate and come back to bite you in the ass when it's someone you don't agree with ideologically? These are the fruits of being a hypocrite. These are the fruits of being hypocritical. These are the fruits of a media that lies to us and tells us, hey, all this rioting is just peaceful protesting. Hey, they're just creating an autonomous zone, guys. Well, guess what? Look at the Capitol. Now you have people on the right who are saying, how is this different?
Right, of course, but we
People on the
know
right who are
that.
saying, how this is peaceful protesting. They're creating an autonomous zone at the Capitol.
Right, but we know that the media. We know that they just use they don't they're not making arguments. They're just using words to get people to agree with them. They're not. They don't saying that the media is hypocritical. I don't. I totally agree with you. They are hypocritical, but we should not expect anything other than hypocrisy, because the philosophy underlying the radical leftists does not care about truth. They don't care. They don't care about hypocrisy. They don't care about truth. They want a radical leftist revolution, and whatever they need to say to get that revolution works. So that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not necessarily surprised by this. I totally agree with you. They're being hypocrites, but some people in chat are saying, like, secession's not the way to go. If you've secession means you've lost faith in the United States. Yes, if you've lost faith in the voting process, then you've lost faith in the United States. That's what I'm saying. If you've decided that you do not trust the presidential election, then I don't know what faith do you have left in America. That, like, you're not trusting the process anymore. So withdrawing from the process, I mean, the Constitution is an agreement between states. So your state doesn't need to be a party to it. You can leave. I mean, that might cause a war, but that's the path out of this, right? It's not to have a few hundred people randomly storm the Capitol building to interrupt a process. Like, that's not helpful.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it has happened. Where does the blame lie? And what I'm seeing online is a narrative, which of course, yes, is predictable, but I'm pointing it out because leftists do occasionally watch our show. If there are leftists watching our show, and I was talking to some of them on Twitter, and some of them I respect. I was talking to Jangles on Twitter, who I respect. They're so myopic. I can't believe they fall for this crap. They're like, oh, this is happening because of Trump. This is happening because of the right wing. No, you fools. You're fools. This is not a right left thing. One of them, I think, thought he was trying to back me into a corner, and he asked me, if this is not the fault of Trump and right wing people, then please tell us whose fault it is. I'm like, thank you. I'm going to take your question in good faith. I'm going to take your question in good faith.
Yeah.
The fault is yours. The fault is yours. The fault is the media's. The fault is a political and media elite that have selling us a lie that this is that selling us this right left lie. This guy's problem that I'm talking to, I'm not talking about Jangles now, I'm talking about the other guy, but his problem is that he does see this as a right left thing. It's so myopic.
Right.
If you're looking at this and you're like, well, the left this and the right this, the left this and the right you're not even looking at reality. You've got this blinders on.
Right.
You can't even see what this is. This isn't about right left. You're still trying to argue about right left. What's wrong with you? Look at where we're heading. Look at where we're at and where we've come from. Like, we are here because we have a media elite and a political elite that have sold us this right left bullshit that you believe, and have sold us this, like Brené Brown is doing. They're selling us this racial division bullshit. They're creating and selling us the division. They are creating the very division they're selling us. They're amplifying it. Why? Because it's a distraction from what's really going on. And meanwhile, they're taking our tax dollars and they're using it for corporate bailouts, and they're using it to fund wars. And taxpayers, all of us collectively, the little people not in the elite, are screwed because we're so focused on, well, the right did this and the left did this. It's who cares? It's not a right left thing. You morons.
I mean, Carrie, thank you. Welcome to the club, Carrie. Did it take me 2 years to get you here? Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I have nothing more to add. That was awesome.
Okay. Sorry. But I just, you're smart people. You're smart people. Some of the folks I'm talking to, you're smart. Why do you insist on seeing this in this narrow little, they want you to see this as some left-right thing. Because why? Well, then what's going to come next? What's going to come next from this, by the way? We're going to see something similar to the Patriot Act, probably. Whatever they want, whatever authoritarian measures they want to enforce after this, whatever the Biden administration wants to do. And I don't care that Biden is a Democrat. It doesn't matter. The point is, the next administration, George W. Bush did the Patriot Act. The next administration is going to do something similar, and they're going to force it through because of this.
Yeah, this will absolutely enable the leftist authoritarians to crack down.
Yes, and it's going to escalate. And your stupid insistence on clinging to left, right, you're just going to keep pushing it along. You're playing the game. You're playing their stupid game. We are not on the opposite side, Jangles, if you're watching.
By the way, someone asked if you'll be an anarchist soon. Give me more time. I almost have her to libertarian. But I don't think I'm going to get carried to full anarchist.